You're welcome to Advancing Mental Fitness, and this training is going to be happening in 15 minutes or less. So the topic for today's training says managing your emotion. You know, before I always think there's something called managing your emotions, but not knowing that emotions just have different kind of words, and in the course of the training, you figure out what your emotion is actually telling you. All right, I want us to just flash backward. You know, if you have an exam that you need to take in 2 days' time and you have not prepared, you've not read for the exam, and you get into the exam hall, something constantly happens to you. And that thing, all of us, we call it fear. And that is not actually fear. It's your emotion that's just trying to protect you, that don't take this exam. If you take this exam, automatic the result is what? I want everybody to say it. Failure. It's failure. Your emotion is calling you constantly that the result will be failure. So I'm going to give 3 keynotes that if you say yes to one of these keynotes, this training is so useful for you. The first is, if you allow situations, different situations, maybe sadness, fear, death, you understand, to affect your emotion, to affect you emotionally, your working performance will suffer for it. That's the first one, which you have to answer yes or no. The second one is, if it's possible to choose a different, that it is possible to choose a different emotional state. If you agree that it is yes, you'll see how it also affects your working performance. And then the last one is, increasing your choice of emotion can transform your work environment. If it's yes, then this training is actually for you. So let's start it with this opening quote that says, emotions that happens to you are made by you. If you remember, we have our facilitator like maybe a month ago or two, Mr. Michael Jacob, our mind therapist, and he taught us about there is no bad emotion, neither do we have good emotions. This quote validates that whatever emotion you are going through right now, you are the one that give it permission, and you are the one that actually give it total approval. So what is actually emotion? Emotion are a strong feeling that is derived from one's circumstances, mood, or relationship with others. And the synonyms here are feelings, reactions, and sentiments. So it is as a result of whatever encounter that we have with other parties that determine what our emotional feelings will become. There are some times that I always want to feel like, oh, I want to be helping people, and I nearly want to give away the corporate money away. I had to give the token of the company and the check of the company to Ms. Adebayo, that let the token and the check of the company, let it be with you. Whenever we need money to do anything, I will instruct you to give me a checklist or a token number and ask me, what did I want to do with that money? And I did that for a year before I gained my mental stability. So now, what are different types of emotion? So, you know, Miss Kate says she's expecting a lot of breakdown. So I'm going to make this slide to be available. You'll be shocked that emotions are things you already know about. The way you feel love, acceptance, trust, admiration, ecstasy, grief, disgust, boredom, remorse, disapproval, distraction, surprise. All these things are emotion, and they work like TikTok of our time. Like the way the seconds is moving, you can decide, you can play like 5 emotions. Before you know it, you have done 7, and you've just been making yourself travel. You are traveling unnecessarily. So your capacity to hang on to one emotion and use it to implement whatever you want to use it to implement really, really matters. So how to master my emotion? How to master my emotion? First thing is, embrace your mistakes and errors. Embrace your mistakes and error, because if you embrace your mistakes and error, they are key ingredients that will help you to unlock personal identity. And I will give a very good example. When myself, Ms. Adebayo, we always go to do marketing at any church main road. We're going to be sharing flyer to the members when they close. So a woman came to meet us and said, I'm good at farming and all. We said, this is an opportunity. You know that we don't know how to farm. But let's bring this woman on board. You know what this woman did? When we pay this woman to go and farm, she won't pay the people that needs to work. She'll go and use the money to pay her children school fees. You know, we will think farming is when people are clearing and then they've put the sucker. Farming is, the beginning of farming is when they've done the clearing and put the sucker. The maintenance of the project up to implement harvest and up to sales, and then you can now see money. That is what they drink of farming. So over time, can you see that I'm crying? Over time, I've cried a lot of cry. Yeah, I've cried a lot of cry. So over time, we realize that we've wasted a lot of money. This person is nowhere to be found, but we are still here. Because customer don't want to know your partner. Customer is more about who is hardborn, who are the people behind it, and customer are here, they are here to shake you. So we have to sit down and learn that what is actually happening, and we realize that we are allowing our emotion to rub in the feeling that it is a Greek that will take us to the destination. Before we now got to a new awareness that says, stick to what you are good at. Over time, what you are good at will attract the right partners that you need to have on board to come and help you to move to the next phase. That's why I said you have to be able to embrace your mistake. But if we are shifting the mistake to is it not the woman that wastes the money, and we don't want to believe that, are we not the one that facilitates the woman to be able to waste our customers' money? So the next one is embrace your decision outcome. Whatever outcome your decision has brought, embrace it. We have made a lot of bad decisions, and then we embrace it and say, how can we think differently with these decisions that we have actually made? And one of it is that we have shared it before. One of it is that we said we are going to clear for customer for free. When we sell land for 12.5, we will clear for customer for free. We plan 800 and clinical soccer for them for free. By the time lockdown, we go and we want to go and meet the farmer, we realize that we will still be in debt. We have to call all these customers, please, forgive us. The promises, this is the only one we will be able to do. We have to call them and explain the reason back to back. Or else, if you have used emotion to start carrying burden, you won't be able to deliver well. And at the end, the result will still not come. And the communication that you just need to save yourself a lot of headache, you won't shift it to some other time. And that will help you to still cement your relationship with your customers. So the next one is avoid shortcuts. You know, I learned this from Dr. Miles Monroe. He said the longest road in this world is shortcuts. And you know, most of us, we have had an encounter where people will actually be driving and then maybe there's traffic and then you are following another person. You didn't know that the person is actually going to his own house. So we have to be very, very, very observant of not following through shortcut. I have a shortcut within my estate. Mr. Oluwagbemiga, I've never passed that shortcut. You need an external effect to call yourself to order. That shortcut is so easy, but I will follow through the normal road because the shortcut is made by people's footpaths. It's not like maybe the estate create. If the estate have created it, I'll follow the shortcut. So we have to also avoid shortcut because they are the longest road so far. So the next one is learn, unlearn, and relearn. The understanding that learning is a cycle. Learning is a cycle. If what you learn today might be useful for today, and don't expect it that it's going to be useful for tomorrow again. What you do today that is making you to sell to clients today might not be useful for tomorrow for you to sell to clients. You have to be able to ask them some sort of feedback to be able to know what to use today to sell to clients. So then the last one is self-regulate, self-control, and self double check yourself. Self-regulate, self-control, and self-double check yourself. When you realize that you are running with some emotions that will affect your productivity for the day at work, what you need to do is press pause. Maybe you can just take a stroll out and pick a new one. You know, you might have even do what we call reverse thinking, in the sense that, okay, I think 2 days ago I feel good. What are the things that surround me 2 days ago? And then write them down. And then try if you can just go into your imagination, into that awareness of that 2 days ago, and then try to repeat the same cycle. You realize that you figure the same quality out. So the bonus for today is you have to see differently before you can feel differently. If you keep seeing from just one perception, and then you believe that can help you to continue to see differently, you keep feeling the same. Then the next one is create personal structured exposure. Try and give yourself some room to travel. Travel doesn't mean you have to go to maybe Seychelles, or you have to go to Maldives, or you have to go to Dubai. You just take some travel within your own local community as well, so that you can unwind to learn new skills and learn new things. So the third one is develop effective listening qualities. So if we actually develop listening capacity, listening ability, it will also help us to be able to not give approval, because it is when people are saying stuff and then you constantly give approval to what they are saying, they are playing with your emotions and you keep running on them. And that's why most people who their love language is words of affirmation need to be very, very careful about words that you give approval to. It can all affect your emotion for the day. So then my recommendation, the first one is constantly unlearn hearsay beliefs. You know, there are a lot of hearsay beliefs that we've been living with, and then they say it cannot be in the 21st century, because we are now in a jet age. We are in the information age where everything is doing bing bing bing, and you have to see how you reduce interest to be able to focus what the information aligns with the direction of where you're going. Then the next one is develop logical and mental muscle. The next recommendation is avoid the trap of comparison. Don't compare yourself with others. If you do it, you keep disturbing your own emotions. Be patient with yourself in time to grow. Understand culture as a shaping element. If you are in a wrong environment, try and stay away from that. It will shape you. Set a mental red line or boundaries. Most of the time, people will just come in from no unknown destination and say, "Oh, Mr. Oluwagbemiga, can you give me loan? Can you do this? Can you do that?" I thank God to Mr. Steven that gave me the contact of his friend. I will just send them to a financial organization. We are not into finance here. We are into land. I can give you a land to use, but I can't borrow you money. So, but I have a financial friend you can go and meet. If you meet their criteria, they can help you. So be very careful of things that you surround yourself with. So, because whatever you surround yourself with, if you are not careful, it will increase with you. And if it increases with you, you become that thing over time. So the next one is avoid excess isolation in stressful and boredom engagements. See, most of us, we engage ourselves in things that we did not enjoy doing. We engage ourselves in things we did not appreciate. We engage ourselves in things that we don't really have fun for. Please try to disengage from things like that, because it will affect your productivity. Then the next one says, make decision only when you are feeling positive. Don't take decision under duress. Don't take decision under pressure. Try and make decision when you are balanced. So the last one is the quote that says, the one who can master emotion can master action, and the one who can master action is the master of all future reality. So the future reality that you're expecting starts with the quality of emotions that you put in alignment of your action. Thank you very much for today's training. And also, I will say, if you have questions, if you have comments, definitely kindly put it in the comment below. But before you go, I'm going to ask you a question. When you have a reduced working performance, what affects you emotionally as at that point in time? You can put that in the comment section below. Then don't forget, effective human functionality is found in an environment of continual learning with a supportive drive for desired results. Thank you very much for staying till today's training. See you next week.